Here's how to tell if something is clutter in your ADHD home. First, the things that just don't fit. You bought this really cool piece of furniture you're just excited about, you get it home, and it just doesn't go with anything else in your house or apartment. You've tried to make it work, you've tried to place it in different places, and no matter what you do, it just does not fit. And so you still have it in your house or apartment, but you just can't use it. You just can't put it in the right place, or you need to try to get rid of it and get something else. Another thing that qualifies as clutter in your ADHD home is something you just don't know what to do with. Like, for example, you bought one of these really long tables they use in events with the fold out legs and everything, and you have it just in case you ever need it. And anytime there is an event and you offer to bring this table, it's either too big or someone else has one that fits better. And so now it just stays in your house, in your garage or whatever. You just don't know what to do with it. You don't want to get rid of it because what if they actually do need it? But then again, you really don't ever use it. And another thing that might be clutter in your ADHD home is something you bought that just serves no purpose. Like you bought an outfit for a specific event or party and you used it for that one time, and you know you're not going to go to an event like that. This was a one-time event. And so you're still holding on to that outfit and you just don't know what to do with it. It's in your closet. You just don't want to get rid of it just in case there's another event. In this case, it might be a good idea to go ahead and just get rid of it because it's just taking up space that you could use for something else. And another thing that you bought that can be clutter in your ADHD home is something you bought that you haven't used in years. For example, you lived in a place that snowed all the time, so you bought a snowblower. Now you live in Florida and it never snows in Florida to where you need a snowblower anymore. You're still holding on to it just in case it does, but the likelihood of that happening is not very good. And something else that can be clutter in your ADHD home is something you just forgot about and didn't miss at all. For example, you might have a huge amount of CDs in your home and you just forgot about them because now you just listen to music on your phone, MP3s, download it, maybe stream, whatever, and you just forgot that you had CDs. Or you don't have a CD player anymore, even though you did remember, hey, I have CDs somewhere. Either way, these things are taking up space in your house or apartment. And so what you want to do is figure out, okay, do I really need these? Am I really wanting to keep these? And something else that can be clutter in your ADHD home is going to be things that you just have so many duplicates for, they're just unnecessary. So for example, you have 4 pans of the exact same size, of the exact same type, and you only ever need one. Why do you have the other 3? You might need 2, but will you ever need 4 again? And so if you do have this, what you want to do is try to get rid of some of the duplicates because they do take up space and you will have space for other things you might need. Like maybe you need additional pots or utensils that are more important than having some additional pans. And something else that can be clutter in your ADHD home is going to be things you just don't have space for. Let's say you bought some pictures. You thought, hey, they're going to be nice on my wall. But you get home and you realize you have no extra space in your wall to put them. So now you have to make a decision. Do you want to take some of the pictures off that you really like off the wall to put this on? Or do you think, okay, maybe I'll take this back. I really don't have space for it. Or maybe you bought a dresser and you're like, this dresser is really cool, but you still have the old one. So where are you going to put the new one? And then once you get the new one in, what are you going to do with the old one? Will it just end up in your garage and be cluttered there? So really have to think about if you're going to buy something, if you have something that you just have that you just don't have space for anymore, then you might want to think about getting rid of some of that stuff. And another thing that can be clutter in your ADHD home are things that are broken that you're probably never going to fix. For example, you have a TV and you knew that you were going to fix it at one time. It's this top of the line TV, but now it's really outdated and you've already bought another TV. So why would you fix the older one? And you just don't have the time to fix it anyway. And so now it's just in a corner somewhere, in a room somewhere, and you know you're not going to fix it. And the problem is it's taking up space. And something else that can be clutter in your ADHD home is going to be things that are worn out or past their time. This could be shoes, this could be sporting equipment, maybe even a chair. They're just worn out. You're not really using them anymore. You put them in a box or you put them in a room or just put them in a corner somewhere and they are taking up space, but you just have not gotten rid of them. And you probably should because they're just not useful. And you probably have already bought other things that you use for the same purpose. And sometimes that can be clutter in your ADHD home are things that you had an interest in before, but have no interest in now, and you're never going to go back to them, or it's a rare thing that you would go back to it. For example, you bought a video game, you really enjoyed it, you got about halfway through and you're like, hey, I'm going to stop. I just don't have time right now. I am going to come back and finish it later. And so time has passed, 6 months, a year has passed, and you never did that. And now you're not really interested in going back to that game. You're interested in finding a new game that you would rather play. So why are you keeping this game on your shelf when you want a new game that you're really interested in? And sometimes that can be clutter in your ADHD home, or things you just kind of feel mad about. Like, it's there, you're not excited about it, you're not really mad about it or anything, you're not disappointed in it so much. It's just like there. And so, like, maybe you have a chair and it's not your favorite chair and it kind of sits in the corner and you never really sit in that chair. You sit in this other chair that you bought is that you really, really like. And so why are you keeping the chair that you don't like, that you never sit in? It's just going to become clutter, and it's just going to stay there and take up space when you could use that space for something else. And something else that can be clutter in your ADHD home is going to be junk mail. You know, you get the junk mail offers, coupons, whatever. You get them, you bring them inside, you put them down on a desk, and they just become clutter. And maybe you mix in magazines and bills on the desk too, and now you have this pile of things that you don't really know what's inside and what's good and what's bad. So my suggestion would be, if you have junk mail in your house or apartment, go through and throw it away, or have a trash can by the door so that when you walk by the door and you see you have junk mail, throw it in the trash so it doesn't become clutter in your house. Now, this is only part of the process. I do have a video about 21 items that you should declutter, and you can watch that video right here.